The content and comments included in Tech Talk with Chad Hembree are based on the opinions of the host and are not the opinions of the employees or management of Wallingford Broadcasting.
Eat this.
Don't touch that dial. It's time for Tech Talk with Chad Hembree, featuring the latest and greatest in today's technology, with a little fun along the way.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Oh God, here we go again. Dork alert.
Hello and welcome to Tech Talk with Chad Hembree. I'm your host, Chad Hembree, and joining me in the studio this evening is Jeff Richardson and Bob New. Thank you guys for being here. Now, this is our first show of the new year, and I want to spend about half the show recapping last year, what you liked, what you didn't like, what trends you saw, those type things. And the last half of the show, we're going to talk about CES, which actually started today. So on Saturday, when we hit the airwaves with this show, the CES will be in full swing, and there'll be a lot more to talk about next week, of course, with the gadgets and whatnot. But there's a few early releases, like the opening speeches, that we do want to talk about right now, just because they'll be old news by next week. So before I take this first commercial break, I'm just going to ask you one question. What was your most favorite innovation, Jeff, of last year?
Oh, goodness.
There was something we talked about on the show.
Something we talked about on the show. Well, that narrows it down to about 3 months worth of stuff. I guess my absolute favorite was probably the emergence of Windows 7. It's not out yet, but there's enough buzz about it. And I am actually really excited about Windows 7 coming out.
All right, Bob, same question.
You know what? I think mine would probably have to be, I don't know. I'm going to say my BlackBerry. The BlackBerry Bold, because I love that thing. I mean, I got one, and, I was torn. I was a Windows Mobile user before, and I really looked at the Windows Mobile 6 on a friend of mine's phone, and it looked really nice, and I decided to go with the BlackBerry, and I've not had 1 second of regret since I did. Just the Bold I really like. I like the feel of it. I like the performance of it.
Well, I had several different shows or subjects that we talked about I liked, but what I liked this year was a continual, every show, something we were talking about, energy saving, gas saving, fuel saving. So even though fuel is back down to a lower price, and it may not be number one talk around the watering hole now, it still is an area where we can have great improvement. So I don't want to wait till gas creeps back up to $5 a gallon before it becomes an issue again. I would like us to continue on this avenue of looking for innovations to save fuel. My most favorite, though, was the hydrogen boost kit, because that is a pretty simple thing you can do to most any vehicle and improve its fuel economy.
Did you ever find out whether it worked during the winter or not, or if it froze?
Actually, you're right. The water, if you put it under your hood and you live anywhere north of Tennessee anyway, you've got to be careful, because if you leave water under your hood, it's going to freeze. Right. All right. And if it doesn't have room to expand, it's going to break. So, yeah, that is a problem. If you live in Florida, not an issue. Live in California is not an issue. So, well, up in the mountains maybe. But still, the point is, you're right. But there are things you can do about that. One guy has his water bottle installed in his glove box area, and he doesn't use much more than the amount of water that we'd put in a drinking bottle. So it's not like you're carrying a 5-gallon jug out and trying to hook it up in the morning. No, it doesn't take much.
Have you checked, is there anyone around here that sells the kits to install that?
Not around here. No.
I had heard a rumor that Middletown Mall was ordering kits for people, but now I've not checked on that.
Well, now if anybody in the area was going to be able to jump into something quickly and fool around, it's going to be Ernie.
Ernie, yeah, and he can have it for you tomorrow.
That's right. All right. Well, we're going to take our first commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk about more things that happen throughout the year, not just our favorites. You're listening to Tech Talk with Chad Hembree. We'll be right back after these messages.